How does Cinetracer work?
It's using video game graphics as opposed to like visual effects rendering. We're gonna be shooting Fortnite movies.
Yes!
That's what's coming in the future.
This looks really good. Yeah, this is beautiful.
Hey, what's up, Indie Mogul? My name is Ted, and welcome back. Today, we're leaving good old New York City, so we said goodbye to our friends YC, Kazu, Griffin, Charles, and packed up our bags to head out to the city of Boston to learn a little bit about Previs.
It is 4 a.m. again.
Today, we're talking about Previs. What is it, and why are people calling it the single most important thing that is about to change the game of filmmaking? And if that is true, how can you start using it today? Well, to find out more, we went to go meet up with my good friend, Matt Workman. Now, this is just a small portion of our talk with Matt, but make sure you check out the full-length discussion in the podcast link down below.
What's going on, dude?
We're in my basement.
We are in your basement.
In Boston. I'm scared to be in here.
Dark. No, it's good lighting.
This is my video game cave.
Now, if you don't know who Matt is basically a cinematographer that has been shooting for the past 10, 12 years. He has this channel called Cinematography Database where, if you know it, you already know he makes this kind of incredible high-end cinematography content. But what a lot of you guys might not know is that he actually didn't always want to be a cinematographer.
I originally wanted to work in games, StarCraft.
Wow, what a thing.
The through line that's been consistent is my attempt to bring the real world cinematography, like aesthetic, like lighting and the way that we frame, you know, like the traditional cinematography, and blending that with 3D.
Now this makes sense because the reason I'm interested in seeing him is actually because not too long ago, he stopped making this sort of cinematography only set life content and started spending all of his time working on this game called Cinetracer. Which is basically a virtual reality simulation where you can jump into the game, run around set, throw up lights, set up cameras, and change lenses. Basically everything to pre-visualize your entire shoot before you get onto set. Now, this is not the first time that he's made a tool like this. Prior to Cinetracer, Matt made a tool called Cine Designer, which basically used 3D rendering software to pre-visualize scenes on a shot-by-shot basis. Believe me, I know it sounds niche, but I know a ton of filmmakers that already use it. So, how is Cinetracer any different?
It's meant to look like Fortnite, be accessible like for anyone that's ever played PUBG, Fortnite. So if you already know that ecosystem, you just kind of jump right in. And I'm trying to make it so that, you know, people who have 10, 15 minutes to invest into it can still get something really nice out of it. Versus Cine Designer, you really, you know, per session is probably more like a couple hours.
Bam! There's the main difference that we're talking about there, time and ease of use. Which is important because I've got to be honest, I've tried learning Cine Designer in the past. It ain't easy. When it comes down to actually using the software, you do need a little bit of 3D modeling knowledge, which is rare, even among filmmakers, even among visual artists. And again, even if you do know it, it's still pretty slow. But that's just reality. It takes a ton of computing power to use the software, and then even more to render out shots if you want to make them look good. So, the question, can Cinetracer actually solve all those issues? Well, to find out more, I took a seat and played Cinetracer with Matt, and holy.
This looks really good. Yeah, this is beautiful.
And I can't take credit for it, but this is someone else's work in the engine. This is the type of stuff that we're working with. His face can move,
Yeah.
he can blink, and I'm especially impressed with the hair. That's my next journey, is to try to make the hair look this good. This is like basically state-of-the-art current real-time graphics, and it's starting to look more and more like.
No, even now I can see, you know, you've got a strong hair backlight, you've got some Rembrandt soft lighting on the front here. It's clear, it's really obvious to see where the sources are coming from.
First thing Matt did was show me this render. Now, no, this is not a model or even anything that's produced by Matt or his game. It was, however, produced within the Unreal Engine, which is basically the platform and set of tools that Cinetracer was created on. Which means that as far as technology goes, renders of this quality are actually not that far away. Like, you could make this within Matt's game in the near future. And man, it looked good. Everything from the eyes to the hair to this guy's very muscular jaw. It's just, woo. Now, some of you guys might still be asking why. I mean, why use Previs, especially when the time costs money, when the money costs money, when filmmaking is difficult and complicated as it is.
If you picture something like like a Marvel movie, just one frame, how many people touch that frame from pre-production to art department to lighting
Hundreds of people.
to visual effects? Previs is one tool used to keep everyone on track so that it comes out the way that ultimately the director wants.
Again, I'm not an expert on this, but I will give you 3 quick reasons. 1, time costs money. I just said that like a minute ago. Like so much money, like so much money. Every second on set is literally thousands of dollars. You've got the most expensive people, the most expensive technology, the most expensive locations. By using Previs like Matte Software, you can run tests and decide where you want to place your lights, what lenses, what camera moves you want to make, instead of spending that time on set. Number 2, pitching. Now, if you're in the indie world, this might be something that you don't hear too much about. But basically, anytime you go for an agency job, you'll usually pitch them a concept with a treatment or a deck, or some kind of mood board that helps sell them on picking your vision. These days, though, a lot of filmmakers are actually completely prevising their pitch ideas so that artists, agencies, whoever can actually watch your entire film in pre-visualization before they buy it. 3, practice. I think one of the hardest things about filmmaking is that it's basically impossible to practice until you're actually doing it. Shy of spending a whole lot of money and buying all the gear or making your own films, it is really hard to practice filmmaking. With Previs, ideally, you should be able to practice making beautiful images. You should be able to test out a bunch of options before you decide on one.
Alrighty, so since we're actually here, can we play the game?
Let's do it.
All right, sounds good. Let's do it. Okay, so right now we've got a cool dude with a jetpack and a sweet looking logo on his chest.
You can walk around. You can go
Okay.
for it. I don't think jump is bound on the Xbox controller yet, but I'll make
Okay.
you fly. Ready? Right.
Okay. Woo-wee! Okay, so I can fly.
Okay, so I'll jump us down.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna take over. Oh my God, where'd you go? I think you jumped off the map. You've killed us. You've killed us. This game is not meant to be played by 2 people, but here we are.
We then logged into the game, and the game looks like basically what you'd expect any other game to look like. You can choose a character. I chose this guy because he had the super fly camera jetpack. But after that, the game opens basically like any other third-person game.
I'm nerding out. Okay, what do I do? It's like I'm walking
Okay.
around. This feels very intuitive, actually.
So you're gonna hit tab.
Okay, I'm gonna hit tab.
Right, that's like your universal game inventory, and then if you hit E
Okay.
and Q, you go back and forth. So this is the work in progress UI still, but if you hit E, there's different lights,
Oh, this makes
structures.
sense. Yeah.
And keep going all the way down the E train here.
By inventory, Matt is referring to props and tools, things that Matt had pre-built into the game. And my God, he literally had everything. In terms of props,
Whoa!
So-
Toilet!
the inventory tab literally looked like an IKEA catalog, but better. And in terms of tools, the game likewise had more filmmaking equipment than you can imagine. We're talking about everything from lights, to stands, to flags, to camera support systems.
We've done some trickery to make it feel a little bit more realistic than.
And you can dim it up and down. It's got a squeezer built into it.
I mean, I literally could just throw down a C-stand, change the angle, change the general configuration. If you wanted sticks, you could put a tripod down. If you wanted a guy to go handheld, there was literally a guy that you could pull out of your inventory, throw down, and John Malkovich into getting the shot that you want.
You can't jump as him. We've taken out the jump. Most handheld operators don't jump,
I like his legs.
but we might bring it back. Take
Totally.
notes, camera operators. This is how it's done. Yes, you can handheld. And there's gonna be more and more crouching and leaning, and you'll notice it's perfectly smooth. There's no wobble yet, but we'll be adding that kind of stuff into it.
Oh my gosh, I can just duplicate cars.
So hit C again. Move. You could spin the wheel if that's what you wanted. If that's the movie you had in your head.
And
right?
if I wanted to be like,
You can make a car collage right now. Let us now hit T, the T button. Oh. and
What?
and
What?
What's over there? It's the sunset.
oh, what is going on?
You have changed the time of day instantly with your powers.
Car centipede at golden hour.
Let's go back into tab.
Tab, all right.
And let's go to our people. You're gonna hit E. E is gonna change your menu for you.
Gonna hit.
So here's our people.
Wait, they have names?
Yeah, they're loose names. They're not permanent. They're just kind of.
Who named these people?
Now, making realistic looking people, though, is where most computer graphics fails. And yes, while the people weren't 100% perfect looking,
Little terrifying. Mildly terrifying.
Oh my god. No.
they were more than usable. Especially when you factored in all the pre-built motions and characters that Matt had put into the game. In the future, you could even do this with motion capture.
So if you hit 4 with him, he's kind of like a different thing to work on. If you hit 4, he'll just start playing different animations.
What? I want to
spinning it.
backlight the trees.
So now we're front lighting.
Front lighting.
But what we're looking
sun
for is bokeh. We're looking for bokeh.
around.
So there's our
What?
bokeh.
There's bokeh.
Bokeh simulator. Double click a crane.
Okay.
Double click. Lovely. And place it. Place it now. Gently hit F. You may now pick up your Xbox controller. You may pick up your Xbox controller.
No.
And these commands are as you would hope.
What?
You are driving the Techno Crane now.
Oh my God! Look at this.
And you're extending it with the triggers.
I've got to be honest. You know how set people talk about praying to the film gods for good weather and sane actors and all that stuff you can't control? Well, playing Cinetracer actually made me feel like I was a film god. I mean, you could literally fly around and set up any scene you could imagine. You could literally move everything from the walls to the cars to the sun in the sky. You could literally change the color of everything too. You could do everything from create buildings to walls to sets from scratch, all with this kind of very insanely intuitive and easy to use system.
We've made the exterior of this building here from what are called modular parts, so they're all built to snap together like this. In the future, we'll have ones that scale and you can type in the dimensions, but for now, we're keeping it very video game like this.
In fact, it was so easy to use that after just a few minutes of playing the game, I had this kind of crazy confidence to just start making things, even though I'd never played it.
Wow. Hey, look, my torches.
And even if I couldn't imagine it, Matt had even pre-built all of these other things into the game, like custom locations. Everything from a city location to a forest to Popsicle Studio.
Wait a second. You have popsicle in here?
I do have Popsicle.
Wait, why do you have popsicle in
It was
here?
requested. We're going to have virtual versions of all of the real world studios.
I was just at Popsicle Studios LA.
Which is actually a real location, and it's a super popular studio in Los Angeles. They filmed everything from Batman to my friend's latest music video. It really felt like someday in the not too distant future, if you were shooting anywhere recognizable, the location would probably someday already be waiting in the game, ready for you to go onto and work on in set. Which, to be totally honest, maybe is Matt's dream for this whole thing.
We're slowly working into multiplayer, and this is pretty much the vision of Cinetracer and shows how nice real-time graphics are getting.
Now, one thing is for sure, Matt is making not only a game or a tool, but it's a community.
A lot of like the cool features that come from just requests from users, like it would be great if you could do this. I hear it. If it's within my capability of programming,
Of course, why not?
that next week, if it's cool and it seems like everyone would want that, we do it. You know, it might be buggy
Absolutely.
at first, but we
But it'll work eventually, yeah.
We live in this age where creators are all of a sudden able to discuss directly with their audiences. You know, it's no longer a mystery trying to figure out what people want. You don't have to develop things in the dark and all by yourself. You can ask your community questions, you can engage with people all over the world, you can share in this expertise and kind of this share of ideas.
coming into this space, it gives me hope that the traditional cinematography skills and aesthetic can survive in 3D, because I can tell that this was done by a cinematographer.
You can tell that it's done by a DP. Yeah.
So, if technology scares you, you can rest easy knowing that we live in really the best time ever to create and kind of work together. If you didn't know what previs is, now you know. And if you are actually scared of robots taking your job, here's me asking the question to Matt.
So robots are not going to take everybody's jobs.
No.
Yes! Yes!
I'll stop them.
Take that, Canon camera.
Well, there you have it, guys. That's it for me. I'm Ted, and this is Indie Mogul. If you like this episode, make sure you hit that like button, click that subscribe button for more videos like this. Make sure you check out our full-length discussion with Matt in the podcast link down below. Also, don't forget to check out Cinetracer the game. It's available on Steam for Windows and Mac. And be sure to tune into our next episode when we go sit down with Diana Levine, a photographer who's shot everyone from Obama to Ed Sheeran to Kim Kardashian. And I'm going to ask you this question. It's, what is the one photograph that you get when you have 60 seconds with the president?
I try to light it as versatilely as possible.
Once again, I'm Ted from Indie Mogul. Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
This is your mind.
No, man.
This is what you have
No,
made.
I just wanted to make a
I
movie
didn't do this. You did
about
this.
Car Centipede. No!
This is a Ted joint right here. This is a Ted
Let me
creation.
turn it this way. Just okay. All right. Now what?